Ethan Ward had everything. Wealth, power, a picture-perfect wedding day, until the doors of the ballroom swung open and his past walked in with two little boys who had his eyes. The lawyer handling his prenup wasn't just anyone. She was Lena Brooks, the woman he'd abandoned 5 years ago under his father's cruel pressure, the woman who'd disappeared without a trace. Now she stood before him, calm and professional, while his bride-to-be watched his face drain of color. Those twin boys weren't just adorable, they were living proof of the choice that had haunted him every single day since. What Ethan didn't know was that this confrontation would unravel everything: his engagement, his relationship with his father, and the carefully constructed lie he'd been living. The question wasn't whether those boys were his sons, it was whether he'd finally find the courage to fight for the family he never knew he had. Subscribe right now and comment where you're watching from, because this story of second chances and redemption is about to hit you right in the heart. The ballroom glowed like a dream. Crystal chandeliers scattered golden light across white marble floors. Champagne bubbles caught the afternoon sun streaming through tall windows. Women in silk gowns whispered to men in tuxedos. Everyone smiled. Everyone looked perfect. Ethan Ward stood at the altar, his hands clasped in front of him. He wore a custom-fitted black tux that cost more than most people's monthly rent. His dark hair was swept back perfectly. His jaw was tight. He'd practiced this smile in the mirror that morning. Confident, controlled, exactly what everyone expected. Beside him stood Harper Lang in a wedding dress that looked like it belonged in a magazine. Diamonds sparkled at her throat. Her blonde hair fell in waves over bare shoulders. She looked at him with eyes that sparkled, but Ethan couldn't tell if it was love or triumph. The officiant opened his book. "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today." The heavy doors at the back of the ballroom swung open. Every head turned. A woman walked in. She wore a simple grey suit, professional, modest. Her dark skin glowed against the crisp white shirt beneath her jacket. Her hair was pulled back in a neat bun. She carried a leather folder under one arm. Two small boys walked beside her, one holding each of her hands. They wore matching blue suits with tiny bow ties. The room went silent. Ethan's practiced smile cracked. His chest tightened. He knew that face. He knew those eyes. 5 years vanished in a heartbeat. Lena. She walked forward with calm, measured steps. Her heels clicked on the marble. The boys looked around with wide eyes, taking in the flowers and the fancy people. Guests leaned toward each other, whispering, "Who is that? Is she supposed to be here?" "Those children." Lena stopped at the front row. She didn't look at Ethan. She looked at the officiant. "I apologize for the interruption," she said. Her voice was steady, professional. "I'm Lena Brooks, attorney with Brooks & Associates. I'm here to finalize the prenuptial agreement before the ceremony proceeds. Standard procedure." The officiant blinked. "I wasn't informed. My firm was retained this morning," Lena said smoothly. "Mr. Ward's original attorney had a family emergency." Ethan's heart hammered against his ribs. He couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Lena stood 15 feet away, and it felt like staring at a ghost. A beautiful, impossible ghost. Harper's fingers dug into his arm. "Ethan," she whispered, "do you know her?" He didn't answer. Couldn't. One of the boys, the one on Lena's right, tugged her hand. "Mama, can we sit down?" "In a moment, baby," Lena said softly. The other boy stared directly at Ethan. His eyes were grey-green, sharp and curious. Ethan's eyes. The room tilted. "Perhaps," the officiant said carefully, "we should take a brief intermission." "Yes." Ethan's voice came out rough. He cleared his throat. "Yes. Everyone, please, give us a moment." Harper's grip tightened. "Ethan, what is going on?" "Just a moment." He pulled away from her and walked toward Lena. His legs felt unsteady. Lena finally met his eyes. Her expression didn't change. Cool, professional, like they were strangers. "Mr. Ward," she said, "if you'll direct me to your study, we can handle the paperwork quickly." "Lena." "Ms. Brooks," she corrected. "Shall we?" She turned and walked toward the side hallway without waiting for his answer. Ethan followed, his mind spinning. Behind him, the ballroom erupted in whispers. The study was quiet. Dark wood panels, leather chairs, books that no one read. Ethan shut the door and leaned against it. Lena set her folder on the desk. She didn't sit. The boys stayed outside in the hallway with one of the staff. "What are you doing here?" Ethan's voice cracked. "My job." She opened the folder, pulled out papers. "Your attorney's assistant called my firm this morning, asked if we could step in. I'm the only one who was available." Don't do this, don't act like what? She looked up. Her eyes were calm, but something burned underneath. Like we don't know each other. We don't, Ethan. Not anymore. Lena, it's been 5 years. Her voice stayed level. I'm here as your attorney, that's all. He crossed the room in 3 steps. Those boys, out there, who? My sons. She cut him off cleanly. Daniel and Drew. They're 4 years old. Ethan did the math instantly. His hands went cold. Are they? Sign the prenup, Ethan. She pushed the papers toward him. That's why I'm here. I need to know. You don't need anything from me. Her voice finally cracked. Just a fraction. How you made that clear a long time ago. The door opened. Ethan's father stepped in, Richard Ward, tall and grey-haired, with the kind of face that never smiled. He looked at Lena like she was a stain on his expensive carpet. What is going on in here? Richard's voice was sharp. Ethan, your bride is waiting. People are asking questions. Father, not now. Ms. Brooks. Richard said her name like it tasted bitter. I thought we agreed you wouldn't come back. Lena's jaw tightened. I'm here professionally, Mr. Ward, nothing more. You have children now. Richard's eyes flicked toward the door. I assume you're here for money. Father, Ethan started. No. Lena's voice cut through like a blade. I don't want your money. I never did. I'm here because your son's attorney backed out last minute and my firm took the contract, that's all. Richard stepped closer. Those boys are none of your business. Lena gathered her papers. The prenup is standard. Sign it or don't. I've fulfilled my professional obligation. She walked toward the door. Lena, wait. Ethan reached for her arm. She stopped, looked at his hand on her sleeve. When she met his eyes, he saw everything she wasn't saying. Pain, anger, exhaustion. Don't, she whispered. He let go. She walked out. The door clicked shut behind her. Richard turned on Ethan. You look like you've seen a ghost. I have, Ethan said quietly. Those children, are they? I don't know. Find out. Richard's voice went cold. And handle it. Quietly. Today is supposed to be about your future, not your mistakes. Ethan stared at the door where Lena had disappeared. His future. His mistake. He wasn't sure which was which anymore. The ballroom buzzed with uncomfortable energy. Guests clustered in small groups, drinks in hand, talking in low voices. Harper stood near the windows, her mother beside her. She looked furious. Ethan stepped back into the chaos. A hand grabbed his elbow. One of Harper's bridesmaids. Is everything okay? That woman looked upset. Just paperwork, Ethan said automatically. Who was she? Someone said she's an old friend. She's no one. The words tasted like lies. Harper appeared at his side. Her smile was brittle. We need to talk. Now. She pulled him toward the back terrace. Outside, the ocean breeze cooled his burning face. Harper crossed her arms. Who was that woman? A lawyer. That's all. Don't lie to me, Ethan. I saw your face. Harper's voice shook. You looked at her like what? Like you knew her. He had no good answer. Harper's eyes filled with tears. Real ones. Was she your girlfriend? Before me? It was a long time ago. How long? 5 years. Harper's breath caught. Those little boys. They look just like you. Harper, are they yours? I don't know. She stepped back like he'd slapped her. You don't know. It was complicated. My father, I don't care what your father did. Harper's voice broke. I need to know if I'm marrying a man who has secret children. I didn't know about them. I swear. But you think they're yours. Ethan closed his eyes. He saw those boys again. Their faces. Their eyes. The way one of them tilted his head, curious and careful, exactly the way Ethan did when he was thinking. I think they might be, he whispered. Harper's tears spilled over. Then we're done. Harper, wait. No. She pulled off her engagement ring. It sparkled in the afternoon light. I won't be second to your past. I won't raise another woman's children. And I definitely won't marry a man who looks at someone else the way you looked at her. She pressed the ring into his hand. Tell the guests the wedding is off. Tell them whatever you want. But I'm leaving. She walked back inside. Ethan stood on the terrace, holding a diamond ring, watching his perfect life crumble. The ballroom emptied slowly. Guests left in confused groups, whispering and glancing back. Ethan stood near the altar, still in his tux. His father supervised the staff as they cleaned up. This is a disaster, Richard muttered. I know. The media will have a field day. I know. We need a statement. Damage control. I don't care. Ethan's voice was flat. Richard turned. You don't care. No. Ethan, where did they go? Ethan looked around. Lena and the boys. Did they leave? I assume so. Richard's jaw tightened. And good riddance. Ethan walked past him. He searched the hallways, the parking lot. They were gone. Of course, they were gone. He went back to his suite in the estate. The room was exactly as he'd left it that morning. Tuck's jacket on the chair, cufflinks on the dresser, everything neat and ordered. His whole life had been neat and ordered, until Lena walked back into it. He sat on the edge of the bed and put his head in his hands. 5 years ago, he'd let her go. His father had called her a distraction, said she wasn't the right kind of woman for someone with Ethan's future, said people would talk, said it would hurt the business, and Ethan had been young, ambitious, afraid, so he'd chosen his father's approval over love. Lena had cried. She'd asked him to fight for them. He'd said nothing. She'd left town 2 weeks later. He'd convinced himself it was for the best. Now she was back, with 2 sons, sons who might be his. A knock on the door pulled him from his thoughts. His butler, Marcus, stood in the hallway holding an envelope. "This was just delivered for you, sir. Marked confidential." Ethan took it. Heavy paper. Official stamp. His name typed on the front. Marcus left quietly. Ethan opened the envelope. Inside were legal documents. He scanned the first page, his heart sinking with every word. Ward v. Brooks, paternity and custody inquiry DNA testing request filed Brooks and Associates, attorneys at law. His hands shook. Lena had filed for a paternity test. She wanted legal confirmation. She wanted answers. The door opened again. Richard walked in without knocking. "What's that?" Ethan handed him the papers. Richard read them, his face darkening. "She's after money," Richard said. "I knew it. You don't know that. Then why file? Why show up today?" Richard threw the papers on the bed. "She waited 5 years, Ethan. She planned this. She wanted to humiliate you in front of everyone. That's not Lena. You don't know who she is anymore. Maybe Richard was right. Maybe Ethan didn't know her. But he knew one thing. If those boys are mine," Ethan said quietly, "I'm not walking away this time." Richard's face went hard. "You'll destroy everything we've built. Then I'll build something better." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He kept seeing those boys, Daniel and Drew, 4 years old, the same age his sons would be if Lena had been pregnant when she left. He went to his desk and pulled out an old shoebox from the bottom drawer. Inside were photos, letters, memories he'd tried to bury. One photo showed Lena laughing, her head thrown back, sunshine in her hair. They'd been at the beach, happy, simple. Another photo showed them at dinner, her hand in his, eyes locked. He found the note she'd left him 5 years ago. Folded paper, worn from being opened too many times. "Ethan, I love you enough to let you go. Your father is right. You have a future I can't be part of. I won't hold you back. I won't make you choose. Just know that wherever I am, whatever happens, a part of me will always be yours. L." He'd read it 100 times. Each time hurt worse than the last. He'd convinced himself she'd moved on, found someone better, built a life without him. But those boys looked just like him. Had she been pregnant when she left? Had she known? Why hadn't she told him? Too many questions. No answers. He picked up his phone, found her number, still saved after all these years, though he'd never called it. His thumb hovered over the screen. What would he say? "Are they mine? Why didn't you tell me?" "I'm sorry." None of it felt like enough. He set the phone down. Tomorrow. He'd find her tomorrow. He'd get answers. He'd fix this. Somehow. Morning came grey and cold. Ethan dressed simply. Jeans, a sweater, no tux, no armor. He drove to the address on Lena's firm letterhead. Brooks and Associates was in a modest building downtown, 3rd floor. The office was small but clean. A receptionist looked up when he entered. "Can I help you?" "I'm looking for Lena Brooks." "Do you have an appointment?" "No, but Miss Brooks isn't seeing anyone today. Would you like to schedule—" "It's personal." The receptionist's eyes narrowed. "Name?" "Ethan Ward." Her expression shifted. Recognition. Then something else. Pity? Anger? "Wait here." She disappeared down a hallway. Ethan stood in the small waiting room, hands in his pockets. Diplomas hung on the wall. Lena's law degree, awards for community service, photos of her with other lawyers, smiling at charity events. She'd built a life, a real one, without him. The receptionist returned. "Ms. Brooks says she'll see you, but she only has 10 minutes. She led him to a small office. Lena sat behind a desk, covered in case files. She wore a navy blazer. Her hair was down today, falling past her shoulders. She looked tired. "Close the door," she said. He did. "Sit." He sat. She folded her hands on the desk. "Why are you here?" "I got the papers." "Then you know why I filed. I want to talk to you. Not as lawyers. Just as us." "There is no us, Ethan." The words hit like stones. "Lena, you have questions. I know." She pulled out a file. "The DNA test is standard procedure. You'll receive a kit in the mail, complete it, send it back. Results take 2 weeks. I don't want to wait 2 weeks. Then you should have thought about that 5 years ago." Her voice was ice. Ethan leaned forward. "Are they mine? Does it matter?" "Of course it matters." "Why?" She stood, hands flat on the desk. "You left, Ethan. You chose your father, your business, your perfect life. You didn't fight for me. Why would I believe you'd fight for them? Because I was wrong. Yes, you were. I was scared, I was stupid, I let my father control me. And whose fault is that?" He had no answer. Lena sat back down. Her shoulders sagged. "They're good boys, Ethan. Sweet, smart. They don't deserve to be pulled into whatever mess this is. I'm not trying to create a mess. I just want to know the truth. Fine. Take the test. Wait for the results. But don't come to my house. Don't call me. Don't show up at their daycare. Lena, I mean it." Her eyes burned. "You don't get to walk back in after 5 years and play father. You earned that. And you haven't earned it." He stood slowly. "You're right." She blinked, surprised. "I don't deserve anything from you," he continued. "But if they're mine, I want to try. I want to be in their lives. Not because of guilt, not because of obligation, because I want to. Words are easy, Ethan. Then let me prove it." She studied him for a long moment. He could see her thinking, weighing, deciding. Finally she sighed. "My mother is having dinner tonight, 6 o'clock. If you want to meet the boys properly, you can come. No lawyers, no drama, just dinner. I'll be there. Don't make me regret this." He nodded and turned to leave. "Ethan," he stopped. "They asked about you last night, after we left. They wanted to know who the man at the fancy party was." Her voice softened, just barely. "I told them you were someone I used to know." The words cut deeper than any anger. "What did they say?" "Drew said you looked sad." She met his eyes. "Were you?" "Yes," Ethan whispered. "I was." He left before she could say anything else. The rest of the day dragged. Ethan tried to work but couldn't focus. He answered emails without reading them. His assistant asked if he was feeling okay. He said yes. It was a lie. At 5:30, he left the office and drove across town. Lena's mother lived in a neighborhood that felt like another world. Small houses with neat yards, kids riding bikes, music floating from open windows. He parked in front of a light blue house with white shutters. Flowers bloomed in window boxes. A tire swing hung from an oak tree in the front yard. He sat in his car gripping the steering wheel. This was real. This was happening. He got out. The front door opened before he could knock. A woman stood there. Maya Brooks, Lena's mother. He recognized her immediately, though she looked older now. Silver streaked her dark hair, glasses perched on her nose. She wore an apron covered in flour. "Ethan Ward," she said. Her voice was warm. "It's been a long time. Mrs. Brooks. Call me Maya. Come in. Dinner's almost ready." He stepped inside. The house smelled like roasted chicken and fresh bread. Warm, welcoming, the opposite of the cold mansion he'd grown up in. Lena appeared from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a towel. She'd changed into jeans and a soft green sweater. She looked younger, softer. "You came," she said. "I said I would." A crash sounded from the living room, followed by laughter. "Boys," Maya called. "Come say hello." 2 small figures ran into the hallway. They stopped when they saw Ethan, suddenly shy. Daniel and Drew. Up close, the resemblance was undeniable. They had Lena's full lips and warm brown skin. But their eyes, those were Ethan's, sharp, curious, grey-green. "Hi," one of them said. Drew, probably. He was slightly taller. "Hi," Ethan managed. His voice felt stuck. "Are you Mama's friend?" Daniel asked. Lena crouched down. "Boys, this is Mr. Ward. We knew each other a long time ago." "Why did you stop being friends?" Drew asked. "Kids. They ask the hardest questions so easily." "Sometimes," Ethan said slowly. "People make mistakes. And I made a really big one." "Did you say sorry?" Daniel asked. "Not yet, but I'm trying to." Drew seemed to accept this. "Grandma says sorry fixes everything." "Grandma is very wise," Ethan said. Maya smiled. "Dinner's ready, let's eat." They sat around a small wooden table. Maya served chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, simple food that tasted better than anything from Ethan's private chef. The boys chatted about their day, stories about daycare, friends, a caterpillar they'd found. They talked over each other, laughing, arguing about whose turn it was to tell the story. Ethan barely ate. He watched them, memorized their faces, the way Drew gestured with his hands, the way Daniel scrunched his nose when he thought hard. "Mr. Ward," Drew said, "why aren't you eating?" "I'm just listening. You tell good stories." "Mama says we talk too much," Daniel admitted. "No such thing," Ethan said. Lena met his eyes across the table. Something passed between them. Not forgiveness, not yet, but maybe the beginning of something. After dinner, the boys asked if Ethan wanted to see their room. Lena nodded, so he followed them upstairs. Their room was small but bright. Toys scattered across the floor, 2 twin beds with dinosaur blankets, drawings taped to the walls. Drew pulled out a shoebox. "These are our treasures." Inside were rocks, sticks, a bird feather, a toy car with missing wheels. "Very impressive," Ethan said seriously. "What's your treasure?" Daniel asked. Ethan thought. "I don't have one." "Everybody has treasures," Drew insisted. "Mine are people," Ethan said quietly. "People I care about." "Like who?" He looked at their small, expectant faces. "Like you." They beamed. Lena appeared in the doorway. "Bath time, boys." They groaned but obeyed, running past her toward the bathroom. Lena leaned against the doorframe. "They like you." "I like them. They're easy to like." "Lena, don't." She held up a hand. "Not yet. Just let tonight be simple. Okay?" "Okay." They went back downstairs. Maya poured coffee. They sat in the living room while bath time chaos echoed from upstairs. "They're good boys," Ethan said. "They are," Maya agreed. "Lena raised them well. I can see that." Maya studied him over her coffee mug. "You hurt my daughter." "I know. She cried for months after you left. She wouldn't eat, wouldn't sleep. I thought I'd lose her." Ethan's chest tightened. "I'm sorry. Don't apologize to me. Apologize to her." Maya's voice was gentle but firm. "But more than that, show her. Words are cheap. Actions matter." "I will." "Good." Maya set down her mug. "Because those boys need a father, and Lena needs someone who won't run when things get hard." "I won't run." "We'll see." The boys thundered back downstairs in pajamas, hair damp. They climbed onto the couch, one on each side of Lena. "Will you come back?" Drew asked Ethan. "If your mama says it's okay." Both boys looked at Lena with pleading eyes. She sighed. "We'll see." That was enough, for now. Ethan said goodnight and walked to his car. He sat in the driver's seat, hands shaking. Those were his sons. He knew it in his bones. DNA test or not, those were his boys, and he'd missed 4 years of their lives, 4 birthdays, 4 Christmases, first words, first steps, gone, because he'd been too afraid to stand up to his father. Never again. He drove home in the dark, his mind racing. Tomorrow, he'd take the DNA test. In 2 weeks, he'd have proof, but he didn't need proof. He already knew. Those boys were his. And this time he wouldn't let anyone, not his father, not fear, not pride, keep him from his family. This time he'd fight. The DNA kit arrived 3 days later. A plain white box with instructions and swabs. Ethan stared at it on his desk for an hour before opening it. His assistant knocked. "Mr. Ward, your father is here." Ethan shoved the box into a drawer. "Send him in." Richard walked in like he owned the place. He always did. He wore his usual dark suit, perfectly pressed. His shoes shined. Everything about him screamed control. "We need to talk about the Harper situation," Richard said, sitting without being asked. "There is no Harper situation. She ended it. It's done. The media is having a field day. Millionaire left at the altar. Wedding disaster. We need to put out a statement." "Then put one out." Richard's eyes narrowed. "What's wrong with you?" "Nothing. You've been distracted for days. You're not returning investor calls. You missed the board meeting yesterday. I had something more important." "More important than the company?" "Yes." Richard stood. "This is about that woman. And those children." Ethan met his father's glare. "Their names are Lena, Daniel, and Drew. I don't care what their names are. They're a liability. They're my sons." "You don't know that." Ethan pulled the DNA kit from the drawer and held it up. "I will in 2 weeks." Richard's face went dark. "You're actually going through with this?" "Of course I am. Do you have any idea what this will do to our reputation? To the business?" "I don't care." "You should care. Everything you have came from me. This company, your education, your entire life." "My life?" Ethan stood now, anger rising. "You mean the life you planned for me? The wife you approved of? The friends you chose? the career you decided on. I gave you opportunities. You gave me a cage. Ethan's voice shook. And I was too young and stupid to see it, but I see it now. You're being ridiculous. I'm being honest. Ethan came around the desk. 5 years ago, you told me Lena wasn't good enough. You said she'd ruin me. You made me choose between her and you. She would have held you back. She would have made me happy. The words exploded out. I loved her, and I let you destroy it. Richard's jaw tightened. Love is a luxury. Success requires sacrifice. What good is success if you're miserable? You're being emotional. I'm being human. Ethan grabbed his jacket. Something you never let me be. Where are you going? To see my sons. Ethan, I'm done taking orders from you, father. I'm 32 years old. It's time I started living my own life. He walked out. Richard's voice followed him down the hall. You'll regret this. Maybe. But Ethan would regret walking away from those boys even more. Lena's law office was quiet when he arrived. The receptionist looked surprised to see him. Is Ms. Brooks available? She's in court this morning. Should be back around 1. Ethan checked his watch. 11:30. Can I wait? The receptionist hesitated, then nodded. There's coffee in the break room. He waited in the small lobby. Other people came and went. Clients, other lawyers, an older woman with tired eyes, a young man in work boots, regular people with real problems. Not like the clients at his father's firm. No millionaires or corporate executives, just people who needed help. Lena showed up at 1:15. She wore a black suit and carried a briefcase. She stopped when she saw him. Ethan, what are you doing here? I needed to see you. I'm working. Please, just 5 minutes. She sighed. Come on. Her office was organized chaos. Files everywhere, sticky notes on the walls, a half-empty coffee cup on the desk. She sat heavily. Long morning? He asked. Custody case. The father hasn't seen his kids in 3 years, but suddenly he wants them every weekend. She rubbed her temples. What did you need? I took the DNA test. Sent it back yesterday. Okay. I don't need the results to know the truth. She looked up. Ethan, they're mine. I know it. You know it. DNA doesn't lie. Neither do their eyes. Or the way Drew wrinkles his forehead when he's thinking. Or how Daniel bites his lip when he's shy. Ethan leaned forward. They do those things because I do those things. Lena's face softened, just a little. Yes, they do. Why didn't you tell me? When you found out you were pregnant. She was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. I tried. What? I called you. 3 times. Your father answered every time. He said you didn't want to talk to me. He said you'd moved on. Ethan's blood went cold. He never told me. I figured. She smiled bitterly. Then I wrote you a letter. Sent it to your office. You never responded. I never got it. Your father probably intercepted it. She shrugged. After that I gave up. I figured if you wanted me, you'd find me. But you didn't. Lena. I was pregnant, scared, and alone. I moved back here with my mom, started law school, had the twins, built a life. Her eyes met his. I didn't have the luxury of waiting for you to figure things out. The weight of it crushed him. 5 years. She'd done it all alone because his father had lied, because Ethan had been too cowardly to fight back. I'm sorry, he whispered. I know you are, but sorry doesn't change the past. Can it change the future? She studied him for a long time. I don't know yet. A knock interrupted them. The receptionist stuck her head in. Ms. Brooks, your 1:30 is here. Thanks. I'll be right there. Lena stood. I have to work. Can I see them again? The boys? Why? Because I missed 4 years. And I don't want to miss another day. Something flickered in her eyes. Hope, maybe. Or fear. Saturday, she said finally. There's a park near my mom's house. We go every Saturday at 10. You can meet us there. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. You have to actually show up. I will. She walked him to the door. Ethan, those boys, they've never had a father. If you're going to do this, you have to be all in. You can't hurt them. I won't. You hurt me. What makes you think you won't hurt them? The question hung between them. Because I was a coward then, Ethan said quietly. I'm trying not to be one now. Saturday morning came bright and clear. Ethan woke early, nervous as a teenager before prom. He changed shirts 3 times, jeans or khakis, casual or neat. He settled on jeans and a blue button-down. The park was busy when he arrived. Kids on swings, parents on benches, dogs chasing tennis balls. Normal life, the kind he'd never really had. He spotted them near the playground. Lena sat on a bench reading. The twins climbed on a jungle gym, laughing and shouting. His sons. The thought still felt impossible. Drew saw him first. "Mr. Ward!" Both boys ran over. Daniel crashed into his legs with a hug. Ethan froze, then slowly put his hands on the boy's shoulders. "Hi," he managed. "You came." Drew bounced on his toes. "Mama said you might not." Ethan looked at Lena. She'd looked up from her book, watching. "I said I would come," Ethan told the boys. "When I make a promise, I keep it." "Can you push us on the swings?" Daniel asked. "Sure." He spent the next hour doing normal dad things, pushing swings, catching them at the bottom of the slide, helping Drew across the monkey bars. Daniel showed him a bug. Drew wanted to race. It felt natural, easy, like something he should have been doing all along. Lena watched from the bench. Sometimes she smiled. Sometimes her face looked sad. After a while, the boys ran off to play with other kids. Ethan sat down beside Lena. "You're good with them," she said. "They're easy to love." "Yes, they are." She closed her book. "They asked about you this week. Wanted to know if you were their friend now." "What did you tell them?" "That I hoped so." They sat in comfortable silence. Kids played. Birds sang. The sun warmed everything. "I broke up with Harper," Ethan said. "I heard. It's all over the news. Millionaire's wedding disaster. Are you okay?" "Honestly, I'm relieved." He watched the boys play. "I didn't love her. Not really. I just thought I was supposed to." "Supposed to?" "She fit. She was the right kind of woman from the right kind of family. My father approved, everyone approved. Everyone except you." "Yeah." He turned to her. "I spent so long doing what I was supposed to do, I forgot to ask what I wanted to do. And now I want to be here. With them. With you." Lena's breath caught. "Ethan, I'm not asking for anything. I just want you to know I'm here. I'm not leaving again." Before she could respond, Drew ran over. "Mama, can we get ice cream?" "It's not even lunch yet." "Please?" Both boys deployed their biggest eyes. Lena laughed. "Fine, but just small ones." They walked to the ice cream truck at the park entrance. The boys debated flavors seriously. Chocolate or vanilla? Could they get both? "Chocolate," Drew decided. "Vanilla," Daniel announced. "Smart," Ethan said. "That way you can share." The boys grinned. Lena smiled at him over their heads. A real smile, warm. They ate ice cream on the grass. The boys got it everywhere, on their faces, their shirts, their hands. Lena had wet wipes ready. "You're prepared," Ethan noted. 4-year-old twins. "You learn to be prepared. Teach me." She looked at him surprised. "What?" "Teach me how to be their dad. I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody does. You just figure it out." "Then let me figure it out with you." Her eyes softened. "You really mean this?" "Yes." "It's not easy, Ethan. They're a lot of work. Tantrums, sleepless nights, constant messes. I want all of it." She searched his face. Looking for lies, probably. Looking for the boy who'd run away. "Okay," she said finally. "But we take it slow. They're just getting to know you. We don't tell them you're their father until we're sure you're staying." "I'm staying." "Prove it." Over the next 2 weeks, Ethan proved it. He showed up at the park every Saturday. He met them for pizza on Wednesday nights. He read them bedtime stories when Lena was working late. He learned that Drew loved dinosaurs and Daniel loved trucks. That they both hated broccoli but would eat it if you called it little trees. That their favorite movie was about a talking fish. He learned how to tie small shoes, how to break up fights over toys, how to kiss scraped knees and make them feel better. He learned to be a father. Lena watched him carefully, testing him, waiting for him to mess up or disappear. But he didn't. His father called twice. Ethan didn't answer. Business partners sent angry emails. He ignored them. This was more important. The DNA results arrived on a Tuesday. Ethan stared at the envelope for an hour before opening it. Probability of paternity, 99.9% official. Legal. Undeniable. He called Lena. "I got the results." Silence on the other end. "Lena? I know what they say." Her voice shook. "I've always known. Can I come over? We need to talk about this, figure out what happens next. Tonight, after the boys are in bed." Ethan arrived at Maya's house at 8. The boys were already asleep. Maya let him in with a knowing look. "She's on the porch." Lena sat on the back steps, wrapped in a sweater. The night was cool. Stars scattered across the sky. He sat beside her. "Hey, hey." They sat in silence for a moment. 99.9%, Ethan said, "Yeah. How do you want to tell them?" "I don't know," she pulled her knees up. They're so young, I don't know if they'll understand. We'll make them understand. We. He took her hand. She didn't pull away. I'm their father, Lena. I want to do this right. What does right look like? Honestly, I have no idea. But I want to be in their lives, really in their lives, not just weekends and holidays. I want bedtimes and school pickups and soccer practice. You don't even know if they like soccer. Then I'll learn. She laughed softly. You're serious about this? Completely. She turned to him. They'll need stability, routine. You can't just show up when it's convenient. I won't. And what about your father, your business? I'm handling it. How? I'm moving out of the estate, getting my own place, something with a yard, room for kids. Her eyes widened. Ethan, I'm also restructuring the business, hiring a new CEO. I'm stepping back. You love that company. I love them more. The words hung in the air, simple, true. Lena's eyes filled with tears. You're really doing this. I told you I would. People say things. I'm not people, I'm me, and I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. He cupped her face gently. I lost you once because I was too afraid to fight. I'm not making that mistake again. A tear slipped down her cheek. He wiped it away with his thumb. I missed you, she whispered. Every single day. I missed you too. I wanted to hate you. I tried to hate you. Did it work? No. He leaned closer. Lena, we can't. She pulled back. Not yet. This isn't about us. It's about them. It's about all of us. We have to be smart. Take it slow. Make sure this is real before we... This is real. He took both her hands. I know 5 years is a long time. I know I have to earn your trust. But I'm asking for a chance. To be their father. And maybe eventually to be more. She looked at their joined hands. What if you change your mind? I won't. What if your father... He doesn't control me anymore. What if it's too hard? What if you realize this isn't what you want? Then I'll figure it out because walking away isn't an option. She studied his face for a long moment, searching, hoping, afraid. Okay, she finally said. We'll tell them. Together. When? This weekend. Saturday. After the park. Okay. She squeezed his hands. Don't break their hearts, Ethan. Please. I won't. I promise. She believed him. He could see it in her eyes. That Saturday felt different. The air crackled with anticipation. Ethan met them at the park as usual. The boys ran to him like always, but today he picked them both up, one in each arm. They squealed with laughter. You're strong, Drew said. You're heavy, Ethan countered. They played harder than usual. Ethan was storing up moments, making memories, being the dad he should have been all along. Lena watched with soft eyes. After the park, they went back to Maya's house. The boys were sweaty and happy. Maya had made lemonade. Boys, Lena said, come sit with us. We need to talk about something important. Their faces got serious. Kids always knew when something big was coming. They sat on the couch. Ethan and Lena sat across from them. Maya stood in the doorway, watching. You know how some kids have daddies? Lena started gently. Both boys nodded. And you've asked me before where your daddy is? You said he went away, Daniel said quietly. That's right, he did, but not because he wanted to. Why did he go? Drew asked. Lena glanced at Ethan. He nodded. Together. Sometimes, Lena said, grown-ups make mistakes. And Mr. Ward, Ethan, made a mistake. He didn't know about you when you were born. Why not? Daniel's forehead wrinkled. Just like Ethan's. It's complicated, but the important thing is he knows now and he wants to be your daddy. Both boys looked at Ethan with wide eyes. You're our daddy? Drew whispered. Ethan's throat tightened. Yes, if you want me to be. Do you want to be? Daniel asked. More than anything. Will you go away again? Drew's voice trembled. Ethan slid off the chair and knelt in front of them. Eye level, equal. No, I'm staying. I promise. Forever? Daniel asked. Forever. Drew launched himself at Ethan, hugging him tight. Daniel followed. Ethan wrapped his arms around both boys and held on. Daddy, Drew said into his shoulder. Ethan's eyes burned. Yeah, buddy, I'm your daddy. Lena wiped her eyes. Maya smiled from the doorway. The boys pulled back, suddenly full of questions. Can you live with us? Can you teach us to ride bikes? Do you like dinosaurs? Can we tell our friends? Ethan laughed through tears. Yes, all of it, yes. They bounced around him, excited and loud. Lena watched, smiling. Maya brought out cookies. The boys chattered non-stop about having a daddy now. They wanted to show him everything. Their room, their toys, their drawings. Ethan soaked it all in. Every moment, every laugh, every "watch this, Daddy, this." This was what mattered. Not money, not business, not his father's approval. This. Later, after the boys had worn themselves out and fallen asleep on the couch, Ethan and Lena sat on the porch again. "That went well," Lena said. "They're amazing kids." "They are." She turned to him. "You really meant what you said? About staying?" "Every word." "What about your company, your father?" "I'm meeting with lawyers next week, restructuring everything, setting up a trust for the boys, making sure they're taken care of." "Ethan, you don't have to." "I want to. They're my sons. Let me do this." She nodded slowly. "What about us?" His heart jumped. "What about us?" "We're going to have to figure out how to co-parent. Schedules, decisions, holidays." "I don't want to co-parent." She blinked. "What?" "I want to be a family. All of us. Together." "Ethan, I know it's too soon. I know you need time, but that's what I want." He took her hand. "I want to wake up in the same house as my sons. I want to help you with homework and bedtime. I want to be there when they're sick or scared or happy. And me?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "I want you too. I never stopped wanting you. It's been 5 years. Feels like yesterday." She laughed softly. "To you, maybe. I've lived a whole life in 5 years. I know, and I'm not asking you to forget that. I'm just asking for a chance to be part of your life, part of their lives." "As what?" "As whatever you'll let me be." She was quiet for a long time. The night sounds filled the silence. Crickets, distant cars, a dog barking. "I'm scared," she finally admitted. "Of what?" "That you'll realize this is too hard. That you'll leave again." "I won't. You don't know that. Being a parent is exhausting. It's messy and loud and thankless most of the time." "I don't care. And what about me?" She pulled her hand back. "You left me once, Ethan. Broke my heart. Made me feel like I wasn't enough. You were always enough. I was the one who wasn't." "Words?" "I know. Words aren't enough. So let me show you." He stood. "Give me 6 months. Let me prove I'm serious. Let me be their dad. Let me be your—" He trailed off. "My what?" "Your partner, your friend. Whatever you need." She stood too. "And if after 6 months you're still here, then maybe you'll believe me." She stepped closer. "And if I already believe you?" His breath caught. "Do you?" "I'm starting to." She reached up and touched his face. Her hand was warm, gentle. He leaned into it, closing his eyes. "I don't want to rush this," she said. "For them, for us. We won't. But I don't want to pretend there's nothing between us either." He opened his eyes. "There's everything between us." She smiled. "Yeah, there is." She kissed him. Soft, brief, a promise of more to come. When she pulled back, he was smiling. "Too soon?" she asked. "Not soon enough." She laughed. "Come on. Help me carry the boys to bed." They went inside together. Maya had already left for her own room. The boys were sprawled on the couch, sound asleep. Ethan picked up Drew. Lena took Daniel. They carried them upstairs, tucked them in, kissed their foreheads. Ethan lingered in the doorway, watching them sleep. His sons, his family, finally. Lena appeared beside him. She took his hand. "Stay for dinner tomorrow?" she asked. "I'm making spaghetti. The boys love it." "I'd love to." "Good." They stood there watching their boys sleep, holding hands in the doorway. It wasn't perfect. There were still things to figure out, questions to answer, wounds to heal, but it was a start, and sometimes a start was enough. Monday morning, Ethan walked into his office with a new resolve. His assistant looked up, surprised. "Mr. Ward, you're early. Get me Richard on the phone." "Your father?" "Yes." She hesitated. "He's been calling all week. He sounds upset." "I know. That's why I'm calling him." He went into his office and closed the door, picked up the phone, dialed. Richard answered on the first ring. "It's about time." "Hello, Father. Where have you been? The board is furious. Clients are threatening to pull contracts." "I know." "Then fix it." "No." Silence. "What?" Richard's voice went dangerously quiet. "I'm done, Dad. I'm stepping down as CEO." "You can't." "I can. I'm majority shareholder. I'm restructuring, hiring new leadership, shifting to a more sustainable model. You'll destroy everything we built. You built it, not me. I was just following orders." "Ethan. And the twins are mine. DNA confirmed it. I'm their father, which means I need to be present in their lives. I can't do that and run a company." "So you're choosing them over your career?" "Yes." "You're making a mistake." "Maybe. But it's my mistake to make." Richard's breathing was harsh over the line. "What about the Ward name, our legacy? My sons carry the Ward name. They're the legacy now. Those boys, are my sons, your grandsons, and if you want to be part of their lives, you're going to have to accept that. I don't think about it, Dad. Really think. Do you want to be alone, bitter and alone because you pushed everyone away, or do you want a family? Richard said nothing. I'm moving forward with or without you, Ethan said, but I'd rather it be with you. Those boys deserve to know their grandfather. They're smart, funny, kind, they're incredible, and they're mine. More silence. Call me when you're ready to meet them properly, Ethan said, not as a liability, as your grandsons. He hung up before Richard could respond. His hands shook, but he felt lighter, freer. The door opened. His assistant peeked in. Everything okay? Actually? Yes, everything's okay. For the first time in years, he meant it. 3 weeks passed. Ethan rented a house with a big backyard and an extra bedroom. He painted it blue, the boys' favorite color. He bought bunk beds shaped like a race car, dinosaur curtains, a toy chest. The boys spent their first night there on a Friday. They ran through every room screaming with excitement. This is ours, Drew asked for the 10th time. All yours, Ethan confirmed. Where's Mama sleeping? Daniel wanted to know. Good question. Ethan and Lena hadn't figured that part out yet. She'd dropped them off, helped unpack their overnight bags, but seemed hesitant to leave. I should go, she said, standing in the kitchen. Let you guys have your time. Or you could stay for dinner, Ethan offered. I'm making tacos. Well, attempting to make tacos, she smiled. You cook now? I'm learning. YouTube is very educational. The boys ran in. Mama, stay, please. She looked at their hopeful faces. Okay, but just for dinner. Dinner turned into a disaster. Ethan burned the shells. The meat was too spicy, the cheese wouldn't melt right. The boys thought it was hilarious. Daddy's not a good cooker, Drew announced. Chef, Lena corrected, laughing. And no, he's not. Hey, I tried, Ethan protested. You did. She grabbed her purse. Which is why I'm ordering pizza. They ate pizza on the living room floor, sitting on pillows. The boys told stories about daycare. Drew had learned a new song. Daniel had made a painting. It felt like a family. After dinner, Lena started to leave again, but the boys begged for a movie. Then they fell asleep halfway through, curled up between Ethan and Lena on the couch. They're out, Ethan whispered. Completely. Lena looked at her watch. It's past 9. I should get them to bed. Stay. She met his eyes. Ethan, in the guest room. I'm not asking for anything else. Just stay. Let's have breakfast together tomorrow, like a family. She hesitated, then nodded. Okay. They carried the boys to their new room, tucked them into the race car beds. Both boys mumbled sleepy goodbyes. Love you, Daddy, Drew whispered. Love you, Mama, Daniel added. Ethan's chest tightened. Every time they called him Daddy, it hit him new. Love you both, he and Lena said together. Downstairs, Ethan showed Lena the guest room. Fresh towels in the bathroom, extra blankets in the closet. Thanks. She stood in the doorway, awkward. This is weird, right? A little. Good weird or bad weird? Good weird, she smiled. Yeah, good weird. They stood there, neither moving. Lena? Good night, Ethan. She closed the door gently. Ethan went to his own room, lay in bed staring at the ceiling. His sons were asleep down the hall. The woman he loved was in the next room. 5 years ago, he'd thought he'd lost this forever. Now he had a second chance. He wasn't going to waste it. Morning came with the sound of small feet running. Ethan woke to both boys jumping on his bed. Daddy, wake up. We're hungry. Mama's still sleeping. Ethan groaned, checking his phone. 6:30, of course. All right, let's make breakfast. Can we have pancakes? Drew asked. I can try. They went downstairs. Ethan found pancake mix in the cabinet. Thank God for pre-made mixes. The boys wanted to help, which meant flour everywhere and eggshells in the batter, but they laughed the whole time. Lena appeared around 7, drawn by the smell and the noise. She wore one of Ethan's old college shirts. She must have found it in the guest room closet. It hung to her knees. Her hair was messy. She looked beautiful. Something smells good, she said. Daddy's making pancakes, Daniel announced proudly, and only setting off the smoke alarm once, Ethan added. She laughed. Progress. They ate breakfast together. The boys drowned their pancakes in syrup. Lena drank coffee and watched them with soft eyes. This could be every morning, Ethan thought. This could be their life. After breakfast, Lena helped clean up while the boys watched cartoons. Thank you for staying, Ethan said, loading the dishwasher. Thank you for inviting me. I want to do this more regular overnights, maybe every weekend. They'd love that. What about you? She handed him a plate. I'd love it too. Yeah? Yeah. She bumped his shoulder with hers. You're doing good, Ethan, really good. I'm trying. I know, I see it. They finished cleaning in comfortable silence. The boys ran in, begging to go to the park. Again? Lena asked. We went yesterday. But Daddy's never been to our park, Drew protested. So they went to the park. Ethan pushed swings and climbed jungle gyms and pretended to be a monster chasing them. Other parents watched. Some smiled. Some whispered. Ethan didn't care. Let them talk. Let them wonder. This was his family. Monday morning, Ethan's lawyer called. The restructuring is complete. You're officially stepping down as CEO. The board isn't happy, but they can't stop you. Good. Your father tried to block it. Of course he did. He failed. You have full control. Ethan smiled. Thank you. What's next? I'm setting up a trust for my sons. Education, housing, future expenses. I want it ironclad. No one can touch it. Smart. I'll draft the papers. After hanging up, Ethan stared at his office. He'd spent 10 years building this company. Late nights, missed weekends, sacrificed relationships. For what? Money he didn't need. Success that felt hollow. His father's approval, which never came anyway. He packed his personal items into a box. Photos, awards, a coffee mug the twins had made him, painted with wobbly dinosaurs. That mug mattered more than any award. His assistant knocked. Mr. Ward? Someone's here to see you. Who? Your father. Ethan's stomach tightened. Send him in. Richard entered, looking older than Ethan remembered. Tired. His suit was impeccable as always, but something about his posture had changed. Hello, Father. Ethan. Richard sat without being asked. I heard about the restructuring. News travels fast. You're making a mistake. We've had this conversation. Have you thought about what you're throwing away? Every day. Ethan set down the box. And I'm okay with it. Richard's jaw tightened. Those boys have names. Daniel and Drew. Fine. Daniel and Drew, you barely know them. I'm getting to know them. And when the novelty wears off, when you realize how hard it is, then I'll work harder. You're naive. Maybe, but I'm happy. Ethan met his father's eyes. Can you say the same? Richard didn't answer. When's the last time you were happy, Dad? Really happy. Happiness is overrated. Is it? Because it feels pretty important to me. Richard stood, walked to the window. His back was rigid. Your mother died when you were young. Ethan blinked at the sudden change in topic. I know. You don't remember her much. But I do. She laughed all the time, drove me crazy with it. Always singing, always smiling. Dad, she wanted more kids, a big family. I said no, said one was enough. I had to focus on the business. Ethan had never heard this before. She died when you were 6, Richard continued quietly. Car accident, sudden. I threw myself into work. It was easier than feeling. I know. And I raised you the same way. Controlled, focused. I thought I was preparing you for success. You were preparing me to be alone. Richard turned. His eyes were wet. Yes, I was. The admission hung between them. Those boys, Richard said. Your sons. They have your mother's smile. You've seen them? I drove by the park, Saturday. Watched from the car. Richard's voice cracked. They're beautiful, Ethan. They are. And that woman, Lena, she's strong. She is. You love her? It wasn't a question. Yes, Ethan said. I do. Richard nodded slowly. Then don't make my mistakes. Don't choose pride over love. Don't wait until it's too late. It's not too late for you, isn't it? No. Ethan crossed to his father. They're your grandsons. You have a chance to know them, to be part of their lives, but you have to choose it. They won't want to know me, not after how I treated their mother. That's up to them, and Lena. But you have to try. Richard pulled out his phone, showed Ethan a photo. It was from Saturday, the boys on the swings, Lena and Ethan standing together, all of them laughing. I took this, Richard said. I've looked at it 50 times. Then stop looking, come meet them. I don't know how. Neither did I, you figure it out. Richard pocketed his phone. What if I'm not good at it? You probably won't be. Not at first, but you get better. A ghost of a smile crossed Richard's face. When did you get so wise? About 3 weeks ago. Richard actually laughed. Short, rough, but real. Can I meet them? Richard asked. Really meet them? I'll ask Lena. She'll say no. Maybe. But I'll ask. Richard nodded. Thank you. They stood awkwardly. Neither knew how to end this. Finally, Richard held out his hand. Ethan shook it. Then, on impulse, pulled his father into a hug. Richard went stiff. Then slowly, hesitantly, hugged back. I'm sorry. Richard whispered. For everything. I know, Dad, I know. That evening, Ethan met Lena at a coffee shop. She'd gotten a sitter for the boys. Your father wants to meet them, Ethan said without preamble. Lena's coffee cup stopped halfway to her mouth. What? He came to my office today, apologized, said he wants to be their grandfather. No. Lena. He tried to pay me to leave town, Ethan, 5 years ago, showed up at my apartment with a check and told me I'd ruin your life. Ethan's blood ran cold. He what? You didn't know? No, I didn't. He said you'd be better off without me, that I was a distraction, that people like me didn't belong in your world. People like you. He didn't say black. He didn't have to. I knew what he meant. Anger burned in Ethan's chest. I'm sorry, God, Lena, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. It is. I should have stopped him. Should have fought harder. You were 27. He was your father. I get it. That's not an excuse. She set down her coffee. No, it's not, but it's done. We can't change it. He's different now. I think he means it. Or he's lonely and wants back in your life. Maybe. But he looked at pictures of the boys, Lena. He cried. That got her attention. Richard Ward cried? Yeah. She was quiet for a long moment. I don't want him around my boys if he's going to judge them. Or me. He won't. You don't know that. You're right. I don't. But I think he deserves a chance. One chance. If he messes up, he's out. And you'll enforce that? Absolutely, she studied him. You've changed. Had to. I'm proud of you. The words hit him square in the chest. Yeah? Yeah. She reached across the table, took his hand. Okay, he can meet them. But supervised at your house, and if he says one wrong thing, he's gone. I promise. Okay. They finished their coffee. Talked about other things. The boys' upcoming birthday, Halloween costumes, preschool registration. Normal things. Couple things. When they left, Ethan walked her to her car. The night was cool. Stars scattered overhead. Thank you, he said, for giving him a chance. I'm doing it for you. And for them. Every kid deserves grandparents. Even difficult ones? Especially difficult ones. They make good stories later. He laughed. She smiled. Lena? Yeah? Can I kiss you? Her breath caught. You want to? I've wanted to for 3 weeks. We said we'd take it slow. This is slow. Tortoise slow. She laughed. Okay, you can kiss me. He cupped her face gently, gave her time to change her mind. She didn't. Their lips met. Soft, sweet, perfect. When they pulled apart, she was smiling. Still slow enough? He asked. Just right. Saturday came. Richard arrived at Ethan's house at exactly 10 o'clock. He wore khakis and a button-down. Casual for him. He looked nervous. They're in the backyard, Ethan said. Should I bring something? A gift? Just be yourself. The nice version. Richard almost smiled. They walked through the house. Through the kitchen window, Ethan could see Lena and the boys. The twins were digging in the dirt, building something. They're bigger than I thought, Richard said quietly. Kids are. They look like you. They look like Mom, too. Richard's eyes softened. Yes, they do. Ethan opened the back door. Lena looked up. Her smile faded when she saw Richard. Boys, Ethan called. Come here. Someone wants to meet you. The twins ran over, covered in dirt. They stopped when they saw Richard, suddenly shy. This is my father, Ethan said. Your grandfather. Drew's eyes went wide. We have a grandpa. You do, Ethan confirmed. Daniel stepped closer to Lena. Is he nice? Everyone looked at Richard. Richard knelt down slowly, eye level with the boys. I hope to be, he said. His voice was gentle, softer than Ethan had ever heard. I'm very happy to meet you both. I'm Drew, Drew said. This is Daniel. He's shy. That's okay, I'm a little shy too. Really? Drew looked skeptical. Really? You don't look shy. Richard smiled. Actually smiled. Looks can be tricking. Deceiving, Lena corrected automatically. Right, deceiving. Daniel stepped forward. Did you know our daddy when he was little? I did. Would you like to hear stories? Both boys nodded eagerly. Richard looked at Lena. May I? She hesitated, then nodded. Richard sat on the grass. The boys sat beside him. And he told stories about young Ethan, the time he tried to build a tree house and got stuck in the tree, the time he brought home a stray dog and hid it in his room for 3 days. The boys laughed. Lena watched carefully. Ethan stood beside her. He's trying, Ethan said quietly. I see that. Is it working? Ask me in an hour. An hour passed, then 2. Richard played with the boys, built towers in the dirt, pushed them on the new swing set Ethan had installed. At lunch, they ate sandwiches at the picnic table. The boys chattered non-stop. Richard listened, really listened. "Grandpa," Drew said, "can you come back next week?" Richard looked at Lena. "If your mother says it's okay." Lena met his eyes, searching, testing. "We'll see," she said. It wasn't a no. That afternoon, after Richard left and the boys were napping inside, Lena and Ethan sat on the porch. "He was good with them," Lena admitted. "Surprised? Very. People can change. Some people. Are you warming up to him?" She smiled. "Ask me in a month." "Fair." They sat in comfortable silence. Birds sang. A breeze rustled the trees. "Ethan?" "Yeah? When you restructured the company, did you really give it all up?" "Not all. I'm still majority shareholder, but I'm not running it day to day anymore." "Do you miss it?" "Sometimes. But then Drew asks me to build Legos, or Daniel wants to show me a bug, and I don't miss it at all." She smiled. "They love you. I love them. They asked me something this week." "What?" "When you're going to live with us." His heart jumped. "What did you say?" "I said maybe someday." "And they said, why not now?" He turned to her. "What do you think? Why not now?" "Because it's only been a month, Ethan. We're still figuring this out." "I know, but I also know what I want." "What do you want?" "You, them, us, together, every day." She took his hand. "I want that too, but I'm scared." "Of what?" "That it's too good. That I'll wake up and you'll be gone." "I'm not going anywhere. You say that now. I'll say it every day if I have to." He squeezed her hand. "Lena, I love you. I've loved you since we were 25. I loved you when I was too stupid to fight for you. And I love you now. That's not changing." Tears filled her eyes. "Ethan, you don't have to say it back. Not yet. Just know it's true." "I do say it back." Her voice broke. "I love you. I never stopped." He pulled her close. She buried her face in his chest. He held her while she cried. Happy tears, sad tears, scared tears, all mixed together. "We're going to be okay," he whispered into her hair. "Promise? Promise." The weeks turned into months. Fall came with cooler air and changing leaves. The boys started preschool. Ethan drove them on his days. Lena took them on hers. They had dinner together most nights. Sometimes at Ethan's house, sometimes at Lena's apartment, sometimes at Maya's. Richard came to Saturday lunches. He was stiff at first, unsure, but the boys didn't care. They climbed on him, demanded stories, made him play dinosaurs. Slowly, he softened. One Saturday, Ethan found Richard reading to the boys on the couch. All three were asleep. The twins on either side, Richard's arms around them. Lena appeared beside Ethan. "Should we wake them?" "Not yet." They watched for a moment. "He's different," Lena said. "Really different." "Yeah. I might actually like him." "Don't tell him that. It'll go to his head." She laughed quietly. That night, after everyone had gone home and the boys were in bed, Lena stayed. She'd been staying more often lately, in the guest room at first. But tonight, she stood in Ethan's bedroom doorway. "Can I come in?" His heart raced. "Always." She closed the door behind her, sat on the edge of his bed. "The boys asked me again today," she said. "About living together?" "Yeah." "What did you say?" "I said I'd think about it." "And?" She looked at him, really looked. "I want to say yes, but I need to know this is real, that you're ready for all of it." "I'm ready. It's not just romance, Ethan. It's laundry and bills and arguments about who forgot to buy milk. It's being tired and stressed and still showing up." "I know. Do you?" He sat beside her, took her hand. "I know it won't always be easy. I know we'll fight sometimes. I know I'll mess up, but I also know I want this. I want the boring stuff, the hard stuff, all of it. With you." "Why?" "Because you make me better, because the boys need both of us, because I love you, because this feels like home." Her eyes filled. "It feels like home to me too." "Then move in, officially. You and the boys. Let's be a family. Just like that. Just like that." She smiled through tears. "Okay. Yeah? Yeah. Let's do it." He kissed her, long and deep and full of promise. When they pulled apart, she laughed. "The boys are going to lose their minds." "In a good way. The best way." They told the boys the next morning. Drew and Daniel screamed so loud the neighbors probably heard. "We're moving in with Daddy. We get to live here? Forever?" "Forever," Lena confirmed. The boys tackled Ethan in a hug. All three of them went down laughing. Lena watched from the doorway, smiling. This was everything. Moving day came 2 weeks later. Maya helped pack. Richard rented a truck. Ethan carried boxes while the boys helped by getting in the way. By evening, Lena's things filled Ethan's house, her books on the shelves, her clothes in the closet, her coffee mug in the cabinet. It felt right. That night, they had their first official family dinner. Everyone together. Ethan, Lena, the boys, Maya, even Richard. A toast, Richard said, raising his glass. To family, to second chances, to love. They clinked glasses. The boys clinked their juice boxes. After dinner, Ethan and Lena stood on the porch. Inside, Richard read stories while Maya cleaned up. The boys' laughter floated through the window. "We did it," Lena said softly. "We did. Are you happy? More than I've ever been." She leaned into him. He wrapped his arms around her. "Thank you," he said. "For what? For giving me another chance. For letting me be their father. For loving me even when I didn't deserve it. You deserve it now. I'll spend every day trying to keep deserving it. I know you will." They stood together, watching the stars come out. Inside, their family laughed and loved. This was it. This was everything he'd been searching for. Not success, not money, not approval. Family, love, home. Simple as that. And absolutely perfect. Thanksgiving came cold and bright. Ethan woke to the smell of coffee and the sound of small feet running. He rolled over to find Lena's side of the bed empty. Their bed. Still felt new to think that way. He pulled on sweatpants and followed the noise downstairs. The kitchen was controlled chaos. Lena stood at the stove, hair piled on her head, wearing his old college sweatshirt. Maya rolled out pie dough at the counter. The boys sat at the table, coloring paper turkeys. "Daddy," Drew looked up, "we're making decorations." "I see that. Very fancy." "Grandma's making pie," Daniel added. "Pumpkin. My favorite." Maya smiled. "I remember." Richard appeared from the dining room carrying chairs. He'd arrived an hour earlier to help set up. He wore jeans, actual jeans. Ethan almost didn't recognize him. "Where do you want these?" Richard asked. "By the big table," Lena directed. "We're seating 12. 12 people." A year ago, Ethan would have eaten Thanksgiving alone in a restaurant, maybe with Harper at some fancy charity dinner. Now his house overflowed with family. Lena's law partners were coming. A couple of friends from the boys' preschool. Real people, real connections. "Coffee?" Lena held out a mug. "Please." She poured him a cup. Their fingers touched when he took it. She smiled. "Sleep okay?" she asked. "Better than okay." The boys were up early. Excited. "I heard. Couldn't tell if it was excitement or a stampede." She laughed. "Both." The doorbell rang. The first guests, then more. The house filled with voices and laughter. Kids ran through the halls. Adults talked in clusters. Dinner was loud and perfect. The turkey was slightly dry. The mashed potatoes were lumpy. The green beans were overcooked. Nobody cared. Everyone talked over each other, shared stories, laughed until they cried. Richard sat at one end of the table, Maya at the other. Ethan and Lena in the middle with the boys between them. "I'm thankful for Daddy," Drew announced when it was his turn. "I'm thankful for Mama," Daniel added. "I'm thankful for Pie," one of the other kids said. Everyone laughed. When it was Ethan's turn, he looked around the table, at Lena, the boys, his father, who actually smiled now, Maya, who'd welcomed him back like he'd never left. "I'm thankful for second chances," he said quietly, "and for people who believe in them." Lena squeezed his hand under the table. After dinner, while others cleaned up, Ethan found his father on the back porch. Richard stared at the yard where the boys played with the other children. "Hell of a day," Richard said. "Yeah. Your mother would have loved this." Ethan stood beside him. "Tell me about her, real stories, not the perfect ones you used to tell." Richard was quiet for a moment. "She burned everything she cooked, terrible in the kitchen, but she tried anyway. Like me. Like you," Richard smiled. "She sang off-key, laughed at her own jokes, cried at commercials. She sounds wonderful." "She was. I didn't appreciate it enough. Thought work was more important." Richard turned to Ethan. "Don't make my mistakes, son. This—" He gestured at the house, the family inside. "This is what matters." "I know, Dad." "Good." Richard clapped his shoulder. "Now let's get back before Maya accuses us of hiding from dishes." They went inside together. December brought cold and Christmas preparations. The boys were obsessed with Santa. Every store trip included a detailed examination of decorations. "Can we get a tree?" Drew asked for the 100th time. "A big one," Daniel added. Ethan looked at Lena. She smiled. "I think we need a big tree." They spent a Saturday at a tree farm. The boys ran through rows of pines, debating which was tallest. Richard came along, surprisingly patient as the twins changed their minds every 30 seconds. This one. No, that one. Wait, this one. They finally agreed on a 7-foot pine. Ethan and Richard tied it to the car roof. The boys cheered like they'd won a trophy. At home, decorating took hours. Ornaments went on crooked. Lights tangled. The star sat sideways on top. It was perfect. That night, after the boys were asleep, Ethan and Lena sat by the tree. Lights twinkled in the darkness. They're going to explode on Christmas morning, Lena said. I'm counting on it. I may have gone overboard with presents. How overboard? There's a bike situation in the garage. She laughed. 2 bikes? Maybe. Ethan. They need bikes. It's a childhood essential. You're spoiling them. I'm making up for lost time. Her smile faded. You don't have to do that. I know. I want to. He pulled her closer. I missed their first 4 years. Let me enjoy these ones. As long as you remember that love matters more than presents. I know, but presents don't hurt. She kissed his cheek. You're a good dad. Learning from you. We're learning together. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the lights. Lena? Marry me. She went still. What? He turned to face her. Marry me. For real this time. No big wedding, no pressure. Just us and the boys and whoever we want there. Ethan, I know we've only been living together for 2 months. I know it might seem fast, but I also know I want forever with you. I want to make it official. Her eyes filled with tears. You're serious? Completely. You don't have a ring. I'll get one. Or we can pick it out together. I don't care about the ring. I care about you saying yes. She laughed through tears. This is possibly the worst proposal ever. Is that a no? It's a yes, you idiot. He kissed her, long and deep and full of joy. When they pulled apart, she was crying and laughing at the same time. We should tell the boys, she said. In the morning. They're going to freak out. In the best way. She curled into his side. I love you. I love you too. When do you want to do this? Tomorrow? She laughed. How about we give it a few months? Plan something small. Just family. Sounds perfect. They stayed by the tree until late, planning their future, talking about everything and nothing, just being together. Christmas morning was exactly as chaotic as predicted. The boys woke everyone at 6, ran downstairs screaming. Presents covered the floor. Santa came. Look at all this. Bikes. Richard arrived early with more gifts. Maya brought cinnamon rolls. The house smelled like pine and coffee and happiness. After presents, while the boys tested their new toys, Ethan gathered everyone in the living room. We have an announcement, he said. The boys looked up. Richard and Maya stopped talking. Lena stood beside Ethan, holding his hand. Ethan and I are getting married. Silence. Then, married? Drew jumped up. Like with a wedding? Yes, Ethan confirmed. Can we be in it? Daniel asked. You'll be the most important part, Lena said. The boys tackled them both. Richard smiled. A real, genuine smile. Maya wiped her eyes. Congratulations, Richard said. Truly. When's the wedding? Maya asked. Spring, Lena said. Something small. Just family and close friends. At the house? Drew wanted to know. Maybe. We haven't decided. Can we help decide? Daniel asked. Absolutely. The boys immediately started planning. They wanted dinosaurs at the wedding, and ice cream, and someone dressed as a superhero. The adults laughed. Later, after everyone had settled into various activities, Richard pulled Ethan aside. Your mother's ring, Richard said quietly. I still have it. Would you like to give it to Lena? Ethan's throat tightened. Really? She'd want you to have it. Lena's a good woman, strong, kind. Your mother would have loved her. Thank you, Dad. Richard's eyes were wet. Thank you for letting me back in, for giving me a chance to know my grandsons. I don't deserve it. Yes, you do. Everyone deserves a second chance. Not everyone takes it. You did. That's what matters. Richard pulled him into a hug. Brief, but real. I'm proud of you, Richard whispered. The words Ethan had wanted his whole life. They finally came, and they meant everything. January came with cold rain and wedding planning. Lena wanted simple. The boys wanted elaborate. Ethan wanted whatever made Lena happy. They compromised. A backyard ceremony at the house, close family only, a small reception after. Can we still have dinosaurs? Drew asked. We'll see, Lena said diplomatically. They ended up with dinosaur ring pillows. The boys were thrilled. Preparations filled the winter months. Lena worked. Ethan focused on the boys and the house. Richard visited weekly, building relationships with his grandsons. One afternoon, Maya pulled Ethan aside. "You've changed him," she said. "Richard, he's different. He changed himself. Because you gave him a reason to." Maya touched his arm. "You've given all of us a reason to. This family, it almost didn't happen, but you fought for it. Lena fought too." "She did, but you had further to come, and you made it." Her approval meant more than he could say. Spring arrived with warm sun and blooming flowers. The wedding was set for April. The house transformed. Flowers everywhere, white chairs in the yard, strings of lights. The night before the wedding, Ethan couldn't sleep. He stood in the boys' room, watching them. They'd insisted on sleeping in their superhero pajamas. Wedding day required special clothes even for sleeping. "Can't sleep." Lena appeared in the doorway. "Too excited." "Nervous?" "Not even a little." He turned to her. "This feels right. All of it." "It does." They stood together, watching their sons sleep. "Tomorrow," Lena said softly, "we become official. We already are official. Tomorrow just makes it legal." "True." She leaned against him. "I never thought I'd have this. The whole family, the love, the happiness. Me neither. We're lucky. We worked for it." "That too." They stayed until Drew rolled over, muttering something about dinosaurs in his sleep. Lena smiled. "He's going to wake up at dawn." "Probably." "We should sleep." "Probably." Neither moved. "Ethan?" "Yeah? Thank you for coming back, for fighting for us. Thank you for letting me." They finally went to bed. Ethan held Lena close. Tomorrow she'd be his wife. The boys would officially be his sons. He'd filed adoption papers weeks ago. Everything he'd almost lost, everything he'd almost thrown away, now it was his, forever. The wedding day dawned clear and perfect. The boys woke everyone at 6:30, too excited to sleep longer. "It's wedding day. Mama's getting married. We get to wear fancy clothes." Chaos erupted. Good chaos. Happy chaos. By noon, guests began arriving. Not many, just 20 people, the ones who mattered. Ethan stood in the backyard waiting. He wore a simple grey suit. Drew and Daniel stood beside him in matching blue suits, holding the dinosaur ring pillows. "Are you nervous, Daddy?" Daniel whispered. "Nope. Are you?" "A little. What if I drop the rings? Then we'll pick them up. No big deal." Music started. Maya walked out first. Then the boys, walking very seriously, holding their pillows. Then Lena. She wore a simple white dress, flowers in her hair, no veil, no train. Just her, smiling, walking toward him. She was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. His eyes burned. He didn't care who saw. She reached him, took his hands. "Hi," she whispered. "Hi." The officiant began. Ethan barely heard the words. He was too focused on Lena, on the boys standing beside them, on Richard in the front row, tears on his face, on Maya, beaming, on this moment, this perfect moment. "Do you, Ethan, take Lena to be your wife?" "I do." "Absolutely." Laughter rippled through the small crowd. "Do you, Lena, take Ethan to be your husband?" "I do." "The rings?" The boys stepped forward. Drew handed Ethan a ring. Daniel gave one to Lena. Both boys were very serious about their job. Ethan slipped the ring, his mother's ring, onto Lena's finger. She put his on. Simple gold bands. "I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss." He did. She kissed him back. The boys cheered. Everyone clapped. They turned together to face their family. Ethan picked up Drew. Lena held Daniel, the four of them together. "We're a family now," Drew announced. "We've always been a family," Lena corrected. "Now it's just official." The reception was perfect. Simple food. Good music. The boys ran wild with the other kids. Adults talked and laughed. Richard gave a toast. Short, heartfelt, about second chances and forgiveness and love. Maya gave one about strength and patience, and believing in people even when they mess up. Ethan gave one about finding his way home. Lena cried, happy tears. As the sun set, they cut the cake, vanilla with chocolate frosting, the boys' choice. Everyone ate too much, laughed too loud, stayed too late. It was perfect. Finally, after guests left and the boys crashed in their room, exhausted and covered in frosting, Ethan and Lena stood in their backyard. Lights still twinkled, chairs sat empty, music played softly. "We did it," Lena said. "We did. How do you feel?" "Complete," she smiled. "Me too." They danced slowly alone in the backyard. No one watching, just them. "I love you, Mrs. Ward. I love you too, Mr. Ward. Think we can make this work?" Forever? I think we already are. He kissed her, soft, sweet, full of promise. Inside, their son slept, safe, loved, happy. This was it. The life he'd almost missed. The love he'd almost lost. The family he'd almost destroyed. But second chances were real. Forgiveness was possible. Love could heal. He'd learned that the hardest way. And now, standing in his backyard with his wife in his arms and his son sleeping inside, he understood what really mattered. Not money, not success, not other people's approval. Just this. Just love. Just family. Simple as that. And absolutely everything. 6 months later, summer sun poured through the kitchen windows. Ethan flipped pancakes while Drew and Daniel sat at the counter, still in pajamas, arguing about which superhero was strongest. Superman, Drew insisted. Spider-Man, Daniel countered. Both, Ethan said. They're both strong in different ways. That's boring, Drew decided. Lena appeared, dressed for work. She kissed the boys' heads, then Ethan's lips. Court today, she said. Big case. You'll be amazing. Probably just boring legal stuff. Still amazing. She smiled, grabbing her briefcase. Don't forget, boys have swimming lessons at 4. Got it. I'll pick them up from camp. And your dad's coming for dinner? Yep, he's bringing dessert. Of course he is. He's trying to be their favorite. Too late. I already am. The boys protested loudly. Mama's the favorite, Lena laughed. I have to go. Love you all. A chorus of love you too followed her out. Ethan served pancakes. The boys drowned them in syrup. Normal morning, regular day, exactly what he'd wanted. His phone buzzed. A text from Harper, of all people. They hadn't spoken in months. Saw your wedding photos on social media. You look happy, I'm glad. Sorry for how things ended. He typed back, no hard feelings. Hope you're well. She responded, getting there. Found someone who actually loves me. Turns out that matters. It really does, he sent back. He set down his phone. The boys were building a syrup lake on their plates. He should probably stop them, but they were laughing. Happy. His. Daddy? Daniel looked up. Can we have a dog? You don't have to say yes right now, Drew added quickly, but we really want one. A dog is a big responsibility. We'll take care of it. You said that about the fish. Who feeds the fish every morning? Both boys looked guilty. I'll talk to Mama about it. Yes. They high-fived. Ethan smiled. This was life now. Negotiations about pets, syrup lakes, arguments about superheroes. He wouldn't trade it for anything. After breakfast, he dropped the boys at summer camp. They ran off without looking back. A good sign. They were happy, secure. He drove to his small office downtown, not the big corporate building, just a simple space where he managed his investments and consulted on sustainable business practices. Work that mattered, work that left time for family. His phone rang. Richard. Morning, Dad. Ethan. Question. What are the boys like on pizza? I'm picking some up for tonight. Cheese only. They're purists. Plain cheese. Got it. And Lena? Veggie. And you? Whatever's fine. You need to have preferences, son. It's important. Ethan smiled. His father worried about pizza toppings now. What a change. Surprise me, Dad. All right. See you at 6. He hung up, worked for a few hours. Nothing stressful, nothing urgent. At 3:30 he left to get the boys. They burst out of camp, sweaty and loud, talking over each other about their day. Swimming lessons were chaotic. Drew loved the water. Daniel was more cautious. But both improved every week. Home by 5:30. The boys played in the yard while Ethan started dinner prep. Lena arrived at 5:45, looking exhausted, but satisfied. Good day, he asked. Won the case. Told you you'd be amazing. She kissed him. How were the boys? Perfect, chaotic, the usual. Richard arrived at 6 exactly, carrying pizza and a bag from the bakery. Grandpa! The boys tackled him. He laughed, something he did regularly now. Easy, easy. I'm old. You're not old, Drew said. You're ancient, Daniel added helpfully. Everyone laughed. They ate dinner outside. The boys told everyone about camp. Richard shared a story about a business deal. Lena talked about her case. Normal conversation. Family conversation. After dinner, while Lena gave the boys baths, Ethan and Richard cleaned up. This, Richard said quietly, is what I should have wanted all along. You have it now. Because of you. You showed me what matters. We showed each other. Richard nodded. Your mother would be proud of the man you've become, the father you are. I hope so. I know so. They finished cleaning. Joined everyone for a movie. The boys fell asleep halfway through, sprawled across the couch. Richard left around 9. Same time next week? Wouldn't miss it, Ethan said. After Richard drove away, Ethan and Lena carried the boys to bed, tucked them in, kissed foreheads. Love you, Ethan whispered. Love you, Daddy, Drew mumbled, already mostly asleep. Daniel was already out. Downstairs, Ethan and Lena collapsed on the couch. Long day, she said. Good day. The best kind of long. She curled into his side. He wrapped his arm around her. Ethan? Yeah? Thank you. For what? For this life, this family, this everything. Thank you for letting me have it. We built it together. Yeah, we did. They sat in comfortable silence. The house quiet. The boys sleeping. Everything peaceful. The boys asked about a dog, Ethan said. Lena groaned. Of course they did. I said I'd ask you. What do you think? I think we should get a dog. Really? Why not? Complete the chaos. She laughed. Okay, but you're in charge of potty training. Deal. They shook on it, then kissed instead. I love this life, Lena said. Me too. Even the hard parts? Especially the hard parts. They make the good parts better. She smiled. When did you get so wise? About 6 months ago. She laughed. He pulled her closer. Outside, stars filled the sky. Inside, their family slept safe and warm. This was it. The happy ending that almost didn't happen. The love that almost got away. The second chance that changed everything. 5 years ago, Ethan had made the biggest mistake of his life. He'd chosen fear over love, pride over happiness, control over vulnerability. But he'd learned, changed, grown. And Lena had given him another chance. Not because he deserved it, but because love was like that. Forgiving, patient, strong. They'd built something real, something lasting. A family rooted in truth and trust and genuine affection. It wasn't perfect. Some days were hard, some nights were long, but they faced everything together. That was the secret. Not perfection, just partnership. What are you thinking about? Lena asked. How lucky I am. Luck had nothing to do with it. You chose this. Every day you choose us. Easiest choice I ever made. Even easier than choosing pizza toppings. He laughed. Way easier. They stayed on the couch until late, talking about nothing and everything, making plans, sharing dreams. Eventually they went to bed, checked on the boys one last time, a habit neither could break. In their room, Ethan pulled Lena close. I love you, he said. I love you too. Forever? Forever. They fell asleep wrapped together, safe, happy, home. And in the morning it would start again, the beautiful chaos, the perfect mess, the life they'd built together, the way it should be, the way it would always be, because sometimes the hardest truth really does lead you home, and sometimes home is exactly where you're meant to be. Thanktanti.